Ah, Monday morning. Can't be bothered this morning. Anyway, I must get my act together, get the chainsaw kit on. Another thing that happened this weekend was I was on the circular saw, excuse me, I was on the circular saw at home trying to cut some oak up, and so last week the planer broke, fixed that, that's all good. Now the circular saw cutting away and the stupid thing just stopped. So anyway, so tonight's job, if I can get half an hour, up the workshop, tip the saw upside down, get in the guts of it and see if I can find out if there are brushes in it and whether I've got to replace the motor brushes. If that's it, it's about £5, which is great. If it's a new motor, it's about £300, which is not great at all. So it's lunchtime now. I'm off. I've made a bit of progress this morning. A lot of firewood in this one. Had a bit of a natter with the Woodland owner, and he was on about how much he appreciates when I've been, because he says it all looks so tidy. Well, I'm not sure about which bit of the woodland he's looking at, but once the able to team get in and gets its logs stacked up like that, and just a shame about the brash piles, really. Right, let's go and have some lunch. I don't know what you're having, but I think I've got eggs and ham and cabbage and stir-fried veg. So yes, all round pretty good day. Back's a bit sore now, it's just getting on for about 4 o'clock. You can probably just see in the distance through the trees a little bit of the sun going down, a bit of a glisten in the distance. Dry day in the Coppice, and I think I might even have to have an haircut tonight, because look at it, it's like a Yeti. What do you reckon? Back over this side today, got some beam poles to bundle up. So there's a guy coming from Loughborough with, so it looks like I'm wheeling a weapon, isn't it? Coming from Loughborough to pick up 24 beam poles. So I've just got to bundle these into 3 lots of 8, and then I've got to go and get some logs then as well. If you've not seen how I do my bundle up, I've got another video on YouTube. Go and have a look for that. I don't know whether you watch Gardener's World, but my sister watches it. And Monty Don, what a star. He's the guy who actively promotes beam poles. But I tend to leave the knobbly bits on, because this isn't the nicest of hazel to work, but the knobbles help the beans to cling on. So if you've got things like clematis and sweet peas and runner beans and those sort of things, and anything else you want things to climb up, the fact that you've got these little knotty bits on means that the plant itself will establish much easier. Whereas a bamboo cane, they're so slippery smooth, you can find that the whole lot starts to slide down. So yeah, beam poles, brilliant. So Monty Don, if you're listening, give us a thumbs up. You're a great guy. I shake your hand. Now January was a cracking month. Normally January in the UK is cold, generally wet, frosty, sometimes a bit of snow. Especially here in Derbyshire, that pretty well typifies what we get. Anyway, January was brilliant. We had hardly any rain at all. Of course, February's here, hasn't it? And well, we've got a right sticky mess. So this is just the track this morning. Quite sticky. So not forecast any more rain today, but it's all going to be very grey and cloudy. So in a typical sort of UK British fashion, I'll start the day talking about the weather. So apologies for that. I can update you. We had a good day yesterday. Some excellent timber stacks going on. Some hedge lane stakes in the foreground. But as you can see, compared to the other day when I did a video, that's all been nice and tidy and stacked. Remember those big willow trees? I've just turned around. So there's that big willow tree there, look, and then all that hazel that was there, it's gone. Been processed, ready for growing again at that big willow tree there. And so if I pan round, you'll get an idea of what we've cut. All this has been cut in foreground then. This is this morning's cutting. I don't know about you, but some days I struggle with my motivation. And today's one of those days. Yesterday I got on really well. And this morning, well, I could for 2 pins gone home and done something else. I think it's because I've got a lot on my mind at the minute. I don't know whether you get days like that. And if you do, how on earth do you cope with it? Be interesting to know what you've got to say in the comments. Because I do struggle that sometimes, just occasionally. And the other thing I noticed with this coop, I've been saying that it's never been cut. Well, I'm not quite so sure now. So the bit at the far end, right over there, that's definitely been cut, and fairly recently, because if you see just over there, look, those stalls and the rods off them, although not very good, they're, you know, there's more usable product. Whereas this bit I've been cutting, some of it's absolutely enormous. But I asked the landowner, and he said he's cut, all the hazel was cut at least once. So I think in the early days, he must have come through and cut the hazel, and it's grown back so well that it almost looks like it's never been cut. And that's what we need to get our head round. It's just, with hazel, you just got to keep it in rotation, keep the cuts up. That way you get a usable product and a usable saleable item. And it just benefits the woodland so much more, the wildlife and everything thrive from it. Can you hear the robin in? Getting absolutely bombarded with flies today. It's quite mild, about 12 degrees, and the little black things are coming in my face and I hate it. Windy days in summer, that's what you want. Keeps the flies away. Or a nice charcoal burn, lots of smoke. Filling up the chainsaw with oil. You got little caps on the chainsaw, and I didn't put the cap on properly, so I picked up the chainsaw and boshed a whole load of petrol down my trousers, which is just terrific. I'm not doing very well, am I? I don't know if you can tell the difference, but we've got even more wood. Looks like a sea of wood. I think that's about it, really. Bit chilly this morning. Having a bit of an interesting day today, mentally I think. Didn't get much sleep last night. One thing and another. Loads of stuff on my mind. One of which was these hedge lane stakes. So I had a chat with the hedge layer yesterday, who I've supplied on and off for a couple of years, and he's a very, very good hedge layer. Anyway, he was really disappointed in the state of his last lot of stakes, so he brought a load back that he just couldn't use, and it's fair comment. They were very below par. There's a guy on Instagram. I don't know him personally, but he makes some amazing Coppice materials. His name's Michael, I believe, and I don't know where he works exactly in the UK, but his Coppice is in rotation. It works some nice Coppice, and you can only really call it Coppicing gold, because it's the stuff in it is like arrow straight. They're like javelins, some of these stuff he pulls out. There's nobody else that cuts Coppice in this area, so of course the Coppice that's been planted and the Coppice that has survived the decades has just never been worked, so it's really difficult to try and get any materials out of it. So I've just gone through some of my stakes, and there was a bundle of eight bundles, and I've just gone through them again and rejected the ones that, well, are just so bad, because it now means I've got to go through all of my stakes again that I thought I could sell, and reevaluate what actually is a saleable product, and the rest will just go back for firewood. So I'm disappointed in myself, really. That's the bottom line. When the stakes haven't changed, and the Coppice hasn't changed, and the sunshine hasn't changed. It's just my view of what I've done already and what I've yet to do. Sorry about that, bit of a heart-to-heart this morning. All the while he's trying to balance getting some money out of the Coppice, trying to earn a day rate, which, to be honest, is I can't even cover minimum wage at the minute. It's less than £10 an hour, and expenses out of that as well. So I might be coming out with about £7 an hour, which is my choice, and I don't need a lot of money. But when you're trying to feed your family and you're just trying to survive, and the cost of living is going up in the UK all the time, it's absolutely maddening. To the point where a couple of weeks ago I even asked my brother if there was a job going. It is. I love doing this, but trying to pay your way in life. Had a bit of a moan at the camera this morning. Wasn't having a very good morning. Feeling a bit better now. Trying to work out at this stage whether to include that little moan in the edit, a reality moan, or whether to edit that little bit out, because it shows the normal nature of life, but perhaps not that pretend internet life that people project, that everything is wonderful, marvellous. Anyway, it's a beautiful day and bird song is awesome. Actually feels like spring, and yet it's only, today's recording is only start of Feb. Look at that, the blue skies look amazing. That in the distance, that there, I put an interesting advert on Facebook. That cordwood is firewood, it's not in a cord. Cord is bigger than that, but I call it cordwood, and it's all 3 foot lengths. And the idea was to firewood that, which I've spoken about on other woodland logs. What was I going to say then? Oh yes, I'll put an advert on Facebook for just that, cordwood, in a per cubic metre. The messages I've got, it's gone absolutely nuts. So I'm thinking, sell it green, sell it either in over 2 cubic metre loads, or sell it as cordwood, which is what I'm doing. I'm going to absorb the rest of the day. It really is a lovely day, nice wind. Just a great day to be in the woods. I don't know what you noticed, I've had my hair cut as well, keeping up appearances. Right, there's that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We'll go and get some more, shall we? I think half my problem is, if there wasn't money in the world, it seems like you're always chasing money to earn a living, to pay for things, and it's that what governs everything. So time then becomes really precious because so much of your time has to be spent working to earn, to pay for things. Yes. Money. So then if something takes longer than you wanted it to, which is often my case, you then start to become a little bit resentful. In actual fact, if money and time don't matter, you'd just carry on in your own sweet way then, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be so obsessed making things be efficient. That's where I'm constantly worrying in my mind is efficiency. Can I do it faster with less, carrying it less, picking it up less, less time, less energy? Right, I'm off, and it's Friday, so of course it could well be takeaway night. If I do show the edits, the little Mardy I held them this morning, apologies for that. I feel a little bit better now because of getting the head straight on what I need to do, and where I need to go, and yeah, just sort myself out. Talking to the camera always helps. It's quite a busy afternoon really. It's now 2:45. I've got 2 hours to load up, deliver logs, go and load up again, and get to the timber yard before they shut. And in all honesty, can't see that happening. Right, I got my logs delivered anyway, and I managed to pick up my 4x4 posts. I got 3 of them. Logs for home, 2 panels for fitting tomorrow, plus taking down a apple tree. So that's all good, and it's only about 4:45, so we've managed to do it all before closing time. This is one of my jobs today. Rip the trellis out and put 2 panels in here, but I've got to cut an apple tree down first. That's the other monster, covered in rose and clematis, I believe. It's a bit of a brute, that, isn't it? It's a good job I checked the panels I've got going on the opposite side. Thanks for watching this week. Fancy subscribing? That'd be awesome. I think we've got nearly 50 subscribers now, which is pretty special. I can hear Jeff. Jeff's the landowner. He's log splitting today on his little tractors. Appreciate the time that you put into watching. See you in the next one.